every day to the world and to your heart. Open up your eyes and let your spirit start. Say yes to the dreams you hold inside. Let your soul be your guide.
In today's complex mortgage world, finding the right direction can be challenging. That's where Lighthouse Advisors comes in. With over 25 years of experience, we provide fractional leadership and executive oversight, guiding companies through transitions, growth, and innovation. From IMBs to brokers to credit unions to tech firms, our team of seasoned professionals is here to shine a light on solutions, ensuring your business thrives in every environment. At Lighthouse Advisors, we don't just guide, we empower. Together, let's create a ripple of success across the industry. Email us today at laura@lighthouseadvisors.com.
Thank you for joining us today. Today, I am here with the one and only Brianna Harris, and we are speaking about new beginnings of 2025, new beginnings of new roles, expectations, goals, and lessons learned from last year. Brianna, thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm so excited. It's always a good day when I get to spend time with you. So as we kick this off, before we go backwards, let's go forward. You have so much new happening at this time. Please share a little bit of that with us.
Yes. So for 2025, some things that are coming up, I just joined Nextdoor Lending. I am their VP of outside sale operations. So really just helping their loan officers increase their growth, recruiting, just really helping grow the company, as well as continue to do everything I've been doing with Broadway Mortgage. I also am expecting my second baby in July. So just a lot of really, really good things. I'm excited. I've had so much time in 2024 to really learn the ins and outs of being a loan officer, get to know the business on a whole new level. And it's really brought me, my position now is kind of like one of those full circle moments where it feels a lot like what I was doing at Aim and Arrive. And now my experience as a loan officer, I get to marry everything together and really like fuse my passions to have this whole new role. Could not be more excited.
I love that. I love that. And that's what I was going to next. I'd love to hear, what are some of the things that, listen, you and I worked together back at the AIM days when we were working on Women's Mortgage Network together, and we had so much fun. I mean, it was so great when we first kicked that off, and we were really bringing all the women in, and we were learning so much, right? And then I know, like you had said, you moved over to Arrive, and then you moved over to Broadway. And I'd love to hear, what did you kind of take from each of those different journeys that has brought you to a moment in time where you're able to take all of those and apply it to what you're doing with Nextdoor Lending?
So many things. I feel like it's like almost two-part as far as, educationally what I'll be doing and my own mindset of what I've learned about myself.
Yeah.
So through my time at AIM, my time at Arrive, I got to really know a lot of different LOs all over the country, learn about their struggles, their successes, and understand the business in a different way. And I feel like that is a big reason why I was successful as an LO in my first year. Because I had to take it all in always. And then on top of that, I became an LO, and it was amazing and I loved it. And it was the first time in my career where the focus was on me, right? Like I had to promote myself versus prior, my job was to promote others and help others be successful. A big reality moment was that my cup didn't feel as full as it used to promoting myself. And I found that my passion is in growing others and helping others. So that mixed with all of the knowledge and experience I've gained over the years is really going to go into how I'm helping loan officers at Nextdoor Lending be successful. I do coaching calls with them, and I'm really big on what I've learned as an LO was the way that I do business is not the same way that somebody else does. And that's how it should be. you should lean in on what you're good at and where you find passion and joy. So I'm really taking the time to get to know all of the loan officers, figure out ways that they can tap into what makes them happy to be more successful.
I love that. And I love that the most important piece of what you said is not only did you learn from the roles you were doing, you learned about yourself. And I think as we're kicking off a brand new year, as we're, clean slate, right? I mean, that's the joy of new beginning. New beginning is it's a clean slate. And you have the opportunity to take all of the things that you've done prior to this moment in time and apply them to the future and most importantly, to the present. Because the future, of course, is unknown. But this moment in time right now of what we do with the information and the learnings and the mindset that we've achieved, that's where the value truly comes. And I think that is something that I want everyone that's listening to this to really absorb. So Brianna, I'd love for you what are some things that you would like to share with the audience, with anyone that's listening to this right now? Because, I heard something yesterday because of course I want to consume as much as possible, books, videos, podcasts, constantly. And I heard something yesterday that was fascinating. And they were saying that at some point, and I'm kind of at that point, at some point you realize you keep hearing the same thing over and over, right? Leadership lessons or concepts or rules or wisdom, right? It's not so much hearing something new. It's re-listening to it and applying it to the moment that you are having at this particular moment. So Brianna, I'd love for you to share, what are a few lessons or wisdoms that you would like to share with others that you've kind of gone through this journey at this moment? What's something you'd like to share with others that maybe would give them that, let me think about that moment?
Yeah, so I would say my biggest lesson I learned this past year is, I was very, very hard on myself starting as an LO because I wanted to find success, right? And so I was burning the candle at both ends. I was overextending myself in areas to where the return wasn't there. But I was like, I just have to do it. I have to do it. I have to go to all of these events. I was doing a minimum of 3 events a week. I started networking groups. I was just in front of my community as much as possible. I did so many different things, and some things I didn't love doing. And it brought me to that burnout point. Right. And you hear so many loan officers talking about burnout, and I never understood it until I was there, because you're going to these events, you are then having to be in the loan and talk to your borrowers, talk to your agent, and you have to be so on all of the time. And it's very taxing. So one of my biggest things, and I talk about it all the time now, is lean in on what makes you happy. What are you already doing every single day? Pour yourself into those. So things like, I go to the gym in the morning. Well, now I intentionally go to a gym class where I know other business owners go to, investors, things like that. So I'm being more intentional with my time there. As far as, I was really big on attending open houses. So now, instead of sitting through the entire open house, what I do is I go to the open house, I give marketing material and some goodies, but then I also go to a couple others. So I'm bopping around, getting in front of more agents, and then I get more time back to myself because I don't feel like I'm just sitting there for 2 hours and nobody comes, or at the end, I'm like, gosh, I just spent so much money on this open house to help, and the return isn't there. So I took a lot of time to reanalyze everything I was doing. I've been leaning very heavy into technology to get some of my time back. So I record milestones throughout the loan process. I text these fun videos that says like, thank you so much for filling out an application with me, to you're under contract with confetti, to clear to close. And me having those in place, it takes away from my time that I have to be on a phone and answering the same question over and over and over again. I'm able to address that question in a video that lets people feel like they've gotten to know me so much better. And it also provides them with the education. They can then go and rewatch it. So I really took the time to dive through what brings me joy and what doesn't, and how can I make these things better? Because we have to be out, and there's things that we just have to do to find success. But how can I revisit it and put my own spin on it? How can I address things where I'm like, this just isn't for me, and that's okay. I'm still going to find success, even working with certain agents, letting go of some relationships that have just been bringing me down throughout the year, and giving more of my time to the ones that, lift me up. And I find that we just work together better. So that my biggest advice for people is go through everything that you're doing. Think about your day to day. Start to think about time blocking, start to think about pouring yourself into things that bring you happiness. If you have hobbies that you've been dying to do, go do them, and think about ways that you can bring your business into those hobbies. And think about ways that you can address questions with people so that you don't have to be on the phone all of the time and feel that you're just overextending yourself.
I love that. Great, great, great advice. Okay, so let's talk about 2025.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts of what are we going to see in 2025? Pull out the crystal ball, Brianna's crystal ball, right? Let's bring it out. Let's give the thoughts out there. None of us know, obviously, but, based on what you've seen, you did a solid year. We all know what 2024 was like, right? What are your thoughts and predictions going into this new year?
I do. I've always been known to be on the optimistic side. So I do feel like 2025 is going to be an amazing year. We've had the election just passed, the holidays just passed. There's so many new things that are coming. I've been kind of telling my LOs that this is time that we get our foundation in place and we get ready to get busy. I've been diving into some new tech. I just signed up with my Home IQ, which I am absolutely loving, to help me get in front of where people's interest rates are, who's shopping, everything like that. So I am on the preparation side of getting ready for business to start to come in. I feel like, so in December, where it's usually a slower time, we've been having a ton of contracts coming in,
Awesome.
A ton of people coming to the table. So I think that, people are becoming more optimistic to buying, revisiting so many buyers who were like, we're just going to wait. We're going to wait. I'm starting to see them come back, which I think is such a good sign for a great year.
I think it's just become normal. At some point, people just say, listen, we have to do this now, right? It's not going to all of a sudden come down. We're never going back to the 3% interest rates. This is what we've got. This is normalized, right? And listen, we want to be a homeowner. We understand generational wealth. We understand that, there's never going to be that perfect time. And no matter who you speak to, I don't care who it is, no one at any moment when they were going to purchase it was like, this is the best time to buy. No, there was always something, right? It's always the rates, or it's the market, or the uncertainty of the economy. There's always something. So I think things have just become normalized, where people are like, okay, this is what it is. We're doing this. We've got this. And I agree with you. A lot of the uncertainty is starting to calm. So I think if nothing else, 2025 will make it where people just say, this is what we've got. We need to take action. Awesome.
Something really interesting that I ran into. So I have an office right on our downtown square. So I get a ton of traffic, and we had a festival. And so I did this thing where I had a bunch of people that were walking by be like, hey, are you a homeowner? And if they said yes, I'd say either, what year did you buy a home? And do you remember what your interest rate was? Nearly every single person who bought before COVID had no idea what their interest rate was. And I asked them, I'm like, how do you not know? They're like, it doesn't matter.
It didn't matter.
We cared that we could pay our monthly mortgage and that we were buying a home.
That's
So
right.
I think that COVID just put, and the media, of course, put this intense, idea that we have to have this low interest rate, that if you're not having a rate in the 2s or the 3s, like don't buy, which is not the case.
Not at all.
So for us as loan officers, we need to overly extend that education of equity and generational wealth and the importance of just paying your mortgage. And that also goes to our real estate agents, because some real estate agents that also started during that time overemphasize that interest rate also. So I've been very big on educating partners too of the true importance, and then showing them too, like if your interest rate is this versus this, it really isn't affecting your monthly payment. So let's just focus on monthly payments.
That's exactly right. That's right. Well, Brianna, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with all of us. We wish you all the best in a bright 2025.
Thank you so much, Laura.